This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. And now also available on the AB4WS radio show YouTube channel. The ARRL took time this week to thank all the ARRL volunteer examiners for their work in the ARRL VEC program, which was very successful this year. The FCC saw a 24% increase in new licenses issued in 2024 compared to the 23% increase in 2023. The upgraded license activity increased by 12% this year. ARRL VE served 25,000 exam applications using the exam tools in 2024, with 88% earning a new or upgraded license as a result. 55% of all successful FCC license candidates were examined using the exam tools in 2024. Additionally, more than 900 young people took advantage of the ARRL Youth Licensing Program in 2024, bringing lots of young people into the hobby. Sad news I just came across is that on January 1st, the ARRL no longer supports the QSL bureaus. I'm sad to see this service being deprecated. Starting 2025 off right, Bucky W0SUN on the Kansas City-wide network Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with the Let's Talk Digital with Bucky. We'll be running a series of topics concerning Yaesu Fusion. So if you're interested in Yaesu Fusion Radio, tune in and check in. Use ham.live to check in, and more information on how to connect to the Kansas City-wide network, go to www.kansascityroom-wide.com. Also, if you're interested in everything Yaesu and Fusion, check out the Weekly Net on Monday nights at 8:30 p.m., where the internationally renowned expert panel on everything Yaesu and Fusion answer all your questions in the Midwiz Room. Congratulations to Justin Reynolds and Bob Gamble for upgrading to Amateur Extra at the Moorhead Amateur Radio Society testing session. The Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association announced that in 2025 they'll have a new place for VE testing, hands-on, and El-Cara meetings. At the new location is at the Slate Branch Baptist Church, 2941 Slate Branch Road in Somerset, Kentucky. Several members of the Letcher County Amateur Radio Club braved the cold and activated the Pine Mountain Scenic Trail outside of Whitesburg, Kentucky, atop the second highest point in Kentucky using the club call of KM4AIL. They were able to introduce several of their members to Parks on the Air. They thank everyone they were able to get in the log. Leroy Blair, WA4RRD, 91 years old, from Bowling Green, Kentucky, became a silent key. Also, Willie Rose, KE4ZQO of Moorhead, Kentucky, also became a silent key. Willie was a regular at Field Day and on the 146.910 repeater. Also becoming a silent key was Scott Jones, KJ4RUQ of Monticello, Kentucky. He was a member of the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association and hung out mostly on 147.570 Simplex. Our condolences and prayers go out to all their families and friends. Beginning January 13th, the Athens County, Ohio Amateur Radio Association will start a technician license class at the Athens Southeastern Ohio Red Cross Building. It will continue for 9 consecutive Monday evenings at 7 p.m., concluding with a test session on March 17th. For more information, go to ac-ara.org. The ARRL has over 100 scholarships up for grabs, ranging from $500 to $25,000. So if you or your children hold an amateur radio license and would like some help with that tuition, you might want to apply for one of these scholarships. For more information or to apply, go to ARRL.org/scholarship-program. Time to dust off that VHF equipment and get it warmed up for the month-long VHF and UHF event called Winter Heat, which was created to provide an opportunity for operators to test their VHF and UHF equipment over an extended period of time. The event also provides emergency communication to operators to test their emergency communications plans and procedures. Winter Heat is a VHF-UHF Simplex event which runs from January 1st to January 31st, 2025, ending at 23:59 hours UTC. Contacts can be made over FM voice or digital, Fusion, D-Star, or DMR, but all have to be Simplex contact. This is the 6th year for the Winter Heat event, with over 785 participants and 214,000 contacts made in last year's event. To learn how you can enjoy this event, go to hamactive.com. Would you like to win a radio simply by being a net control station for a net? Well, the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club is getting serious on encouraging all members to take a turn as net control for the weekly net on the 146.79 WB4VOA repeater with a PL tone of 123.0 by giving away a Quanshang K5 radio with the F4WHN firmware already installed, donated by Doug Cooper, KE4DTC. You can win this by volunteering for net control or net logger duties sometime between January 1st and March 31st. Each volunteer will get a chance to win the radio for each net control or net logger duties they perform. The winner will be drawn and announced at the April club meeting, so give yourself a chance to win by volunteering to be net control or net logger by emailing net manager Al, WB8RGE, at WB8RGE@gmail.com. You know a ham radio operator between the age of 15 and 25 years of age? Well, the camper application period opened up in December at youthontheair.org for the Youth on the Air Camp for the Americas, June 15th through the 20th, 2025 in Denver area of Thornton, Colorado. Eligible youth are licensed ham radio operators between the age of 15 and 25. Up to 50 campers will be accepted with priority given to those first-time attendees. For more information about the event, go to youthontheair.org/Denver 2025 or contact Camp Director Neil Rapp, WB9VPG at director@youthontheair.org. On January 11th, the Brunch Bunch will meet at 1 p.m. at Roosters, 5050 Crookshank Road in Western Hills, near the intersection of Glenway and Crookshank Road. On January 18, 2025, from 3 p.m. Eastern Time to 6 p.m. Eastern Time is the Ohio Aries VHF Simplex Contest. This coincides with the ARRL VHF contest, so QSOs made can be counted towards both contests. Rules can be found at ohiosimplex.org/rules and the ARRL contest at ARRL.org/January-VHF. The Monix Group will meet on January 18th at 6 p.m. at the Donato's Pizza on Donnemar Lane in Bellevue, Kentucky. On January 19th at 7 p.m. is the Newcomer Nelmer's Net on the 146.670 repeater with a PL tone of 123.0, where Robert K4PKM will talk all about amateur radio on a budget. On January 20th at 7 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will meet at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky, where there will be a presentation on Civil Air Patrol communications by Second Lieutenant James Gilbert and Captain Philip Harris, showing off the radio equipment they use during their exercises. They're hoping to recruit some additional ham radio operators to assist with the Civil Air Patrol. January 25th and 26th is Winter Field Day 2025, and the Bullitt County Amateur Radio Society will be conducting Winter Field Day at the City of Pioneer Village at 4700 Summit Drive in Louisville, Kentucky. The Okayan Amateur Radio Society will be active for Winter Field Day at the Harvest Home Park in Cheviot, 3961 North Bend Road. The Milford Amateur Radio Club will be holding Winter Field Day with the Butler County Amateur Radio Association, W8WRK, at the Fairfield Township Administration Building. Information on Winter Field Day can be found at winterfieldday.org. What are you doing for Winter Field Day? On January 27th, the Amateur Radio Emergency Team of Northern Kentucky, KY6ET, will meet at 7 p.m. at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky, where the training team will do a presentation on portable operations with special emphasis on portable antenna design, specifically 2-meter antennas that are easy to build like the 2-meter J-pole. So if you would like to learn about portable antenna builds that you could use in emergency situations, come on out to the meeting. On February 2nd at 7 p.m. is the Newcomer Nelmer's Net on the 146.670 repeater with a PL tone of 123.0, where Robert K4PKM will talk about propagation banners. On February 18th at 6 p.m. Central Time, there'll be a National Weather Service Skywarn Storm Spotter training class at the CFSB Bank Community Room, 414 South 12th Street in Murray, Kentucky. Registration is required at weather.gov/PAH/spotter training. For more information, contact Josh Kerr, the Emergency Management Director.
Repeater news.
Are you looking for the most up-to-date list of repeaters in the greater Cincinnati area? Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've listed repeaters that are active in the area, separated by tabs for each band or mode, so you can easily look for just DMR repeaters or 2-meter analog repeaters and so on. The list includes 2 meters, 220, 440, 6 meters, D-Star, DMR, C4FM, P25, and some other classifications. Every time I update the file, I include the date and the file name so that you know you have the latest update. To download download the file, go to the AB4WS Radio Show Facebook page and go to the file section and download the file. If you're not on Facebook, email me at ab4ws.radio@gmail.com and I can email you the latest file. If you see any errors, problems, additions, or corrections, email that information to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Hamfest.
On Sunday, January 19, 2025, is the Sunday Creek Amateur Radio Federation Hamfest at the Shade Community Center, 2380 Old US 33 in Shade, Ohio. For more information, email Jeremy, KCAQDQ, at JERAMY_DUNCAN@yahoo.com. On February 22, 2025, the Livonia, Michigan Amateur Radio Club is having a swap and shop event at 8 a.m. to noon at the Ward Church Knox Hall, 40,000 6 Mile Road in Northville, Michigan. For more information, go to livoniaarc.com. On March 16, 2025, the Toledo Mobile Radio Association will hold Hamfest 2025 from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Owens Community College Student Health and Activity Center, 7315 Championship Drive in Perrysburg, Ohio. For more information, go to w8hhf.org. The 69th Annual Hamfest Electronic and Computer Show will be held on April 5th, 2025 at the Medio & Sons Party Center, 48 East Bath Street in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. For more information, go to cfarc-hamfest.org. April 12th is the Rio Grande, Ohio Hamfest at the Fellowship of Faith Church, 20344 State Route 554 in Bidwell, Ohio. Tickets are now on sale for the Dayton Hamvention, May 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2025 at the Greene County Fairgrounds in Xenia, Ohio. The 2025 theme is Radio Independence, celebrating the evolution and freedom of radio in today's world. For more information, go to hamvention.org.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On January 11th at 10 a.m., the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On January 12th at 9:15 a.m., the Cuyahoga Amateur Radio Society will have an amateur radio testing session at the Old Elmwood Recreation Center, 6200 Wisniewski Parkway, Independence, Ohio. For more information, email metro351@sbcglobal.net. On January 14th at 2 p.m., the Geauga County Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Geauga County EOC, 12518 Merritt Road in Chardon, Ohio. For more information, email n8jmw2@gmail.com. January 17th, the Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio testing session at the new location at the Slate Branch Baptist Church, 2941 Slate Branch Road in Somerset, Kentucky. For more information, contact Wanda. On Saturday, January 18, 2025 at 10 a.m., an amateur radio testing session will be held at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Avenue in Winchester, Kentucky. For more information, contact Darrell Epperson, AC4YD at 859-771-1834. On January 20th at 5:30 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. You must register by emailing Mark Volstad, AI4BJ@MVOLSTAD@TWC.com. On January 25th at 9 a.m., the Dial Radio Club will hold an amateur radio testing session at 6032 Morris Road in Hamilton, Ohio. To register, go to hamstudy.org/sessions/DIAL. On January 25th, the Moorhead Amateur Radio Society will hold an amateur radio exam session at 2 p.m. at the State Fire Commission Building, 99 Lake Park Drive in Moorhead, Kentucky. No pre-registration is required. On February 8th at 10 a.m., the Westchester Amateur Radio Association will host an amateur radio exam session at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: WX4GPS, KN4COE, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, and 8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.